their babies and the motorcycles too. So anything like I enjoy doing.
Now, how long does it take you to do this image of the car? Like, does that take you like 15 minutes, or does that take you like 15 hours? How long would you say?
I'm going to say 12 to 20 hours, depending on what I run into. There's a background in there, as you can see, with the old gas station. So it took a little more thought how to use the colors to play against each other and so forth. So that's how I did that. I went about that.
Now, how many paintings have you sold presently?
Probably a good 100 or more. So.
How about automobiles? Have you sold any automobiles lately?
Yes.
Here's an automobile you'd like you to look at, folks.
I did a yellow one for somebody. I think that's an old Studebaker. And that was a gift, actually.
You mean this? You mean like this was the car is actually a gift to you, or the painting was?
That was a gift I had given to somebody.
Oh, you gave the car
Yes.
as well as the painting? Or just
No,
one?
not the car, just the painted for them as a
Very
Christmas
good.
gift, actually.
Very beautiful. Outstanding.
Thank
Now,
you.
do you happen to know what year that Studebaker could be?
I'm going to say
31.
31.
Studebaker.
Mr. Dan Pasea is in the audience, as you may hear, and he's here with his lovely wife. They came in today unexpected to myself. I was surprised, and they're surprised. We're all surprised here. We're having a good time, and there's so much to the art world, and each artist is so unique. Who are some of your favorites?
I like Edward Hopper, Gilbert Stewart, who did George Washington many years ago. He was an accomplished Boston portrait artist in the colonial days, and Norman Rockwell, I have a lot of respect for him. And of course the real greats, Michelangelo, and anybody who does great realism, I have a lot of for those.
Now
artists.
here we have the Dalai Lama, who is a pretty interesting person in his own right.
A very spiritual man, yeah.
Yes. Now how long, once again I must ask, if you had to do the Dalai Lama in someone's house because they find that to be very attractive and very interesting, they all range around like 10 to 20 hours? Because you take your time,
Yes,
you want to make
give or
sure
take.
you're a perfectionist.
Yes, as long as it takes basically is what I'll put into it. If I feel like it needs a little more, I'll just keep going.
Was Robert Arthur was an incredible teacher that taught many people around the New England area. And my guest, Gail Pasea, is fortunate to have studied under his tutorship and leadership for many, many, many years. Would he be able to do these paintings about the same amount of time? Did he teach take your time and do it perfectly?
Yes, he taught that you couldn't just create it out of thin air. You really had to, stay on it and go after the detail, and the color is extremely important.
Now, in the art world, what do you think bothered Robert Arthur the most, as well as yourself? You both knew each other really well. What would you say about Robert Arthur, first of all? What would bother him about the art world?
I'm not so sure him, but myself, I know it was the fact that there's so many prints out there. The picture itself, to me, that you can touch the oil, it has a much nicer texture than just an inexpensive print that you might go to the store and buy for a few dollars. I don't think it means the same thing, but there's a lot of that out there now.
Now, someone was telling me today that you've done all of the presidents
Yes.
in the United States. How about Obama?
Yes.
You've done him.
Finished him just recently, yes.
Mm-hmm. Now, of all the presidents in time, which painting would you say is your favorite?
I like
Oh, look at Dan.
I like Lincoln. We have Jefferson here too.
Okay, let's see if we can bring in Jefferson a little bit close. How does that look?
Yeah.
Very nice. Very nicely done. He looks like he just had pasta fazool, or he ate a really delicious meal. He looks so satisfied. Well, I want to thank you for bringing this in. This is outstanding.
You're
I
welcome.
mean, this looks so real.
Thank you for inviting me.
And Dan, would you say that's the best of the paintings of the president, of the presidents? Are all of them like the best?
All of them are about the same quality.
Yeah, I'm sure if Mrs. Jefferson was here, she would appreciate it very much so. Thank you for sharing that with us. And we're going to continue. We're going to take a look in the Mac, see if we can bring this image in a little closer. Let's see if we can bring this over onto the... Michael, could you bring it over a little bit? Okay, now who's this and what is this?
Bob Smith, Buffalo Bob Smith and Howdy Doody, kids show from the 1950s.
I see. I'll try to cover that a little bit. They make it look a little nicer there. Now, what's it, a puppet?
Yes, early television. It's like your first experience of television if you grew up when I did and TVs were first coming out. This was a big deal to a kid. I mean, this was bigger than Barney the dinosaur, Dora, all rolled into one. This was big. This is what all the kids loved. And I think Bob's not with us any longer either, but Howdy will live on.
Of course he will. Very nicely done. Now, looking into the camera once again,
Sure.
you know, you mentioned so much today about art, and you communicate very clearly and distinctly about what you've been through. But in my own experience, sometimes I feel like, gee, I wish I could do more art, Gail.
Right.
And you're a teacher. What do you encourage people at home right now who are sort of like in the doldrums? They feel like, oh, gee, I can't seem to get up in the morning and really go and do my drawings. I stopped drawing like three months ago, 6 months ago, a year or 2 years ago. What inspirational message can you give to us who really want to go back into it, but as I say again, we're stuck in the mud, we're in the quicksand, and we're not getting anywhere?
I would say perseverance and just keep doing it, and it's your own momentum that's going to get you to a place where you want to be. Even if you just take 1 hour a day, stick to that hour a day and build on it, because what's going to happen is you're only going to get better. And that's what I found in life, and that's how I feel, and it seems to be true. It works for me.
Now, over the years, I have done drawings, and I also do music. I'm a trumpet player, and I notice that I have my ups and downs with my drawings. I feel like I'm stuck sometimes, like a kid can't get out of the doldrums.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes I just think it's like you got to just make yourself stay there until you do at least a little something.
That's right. Because that gives you the momentum to go on and on. And that's how it's done.
But you have this in your blood. I mean, when you get up in the morning, you're painting. When you go to bed at night, you're painting.
Yes, the smell of coffee and oil paints are my thing.
I say. So it's like you're unstoppable.
Exactly.
There's never been any lull in your life where you felt like, oh, gee, I haven't painted for a year. Did it ever exist?
No, it only gets more so. You know, I'm almost painting in my sleep.
Wow.
I have ideas, so.
Very good. Very interesting.
So anything that anybody needs, I can accomplish for them.
Now, you're from the Stoughton area, but where are you originally from? Stoughton area today.
A town nearby Stoughton, actually. East Bridgewater High School I went to. East Bridgewater.
And there's something I remember someone telling me about, that in high school you did something outstanding with a book?
Yes, I won a National Library Week award, and I was awarded a book for my efforts. And it was fun because I created my own book, and it was on display in the library, and it was a huge book. And it was actually the adventures of a husband and wife who were actually earthworms, but they had different outfits, different ears, and the people at the library seemed to like it, and I got an award with that. So I was proud of that. I got an art book, and that kind of got me more interested. So it was a momentum thing with me.
Now, how long was the book? The actual length of the book?
Oh, I'm going to say 15 pages maybe. I think I still have it somewhere in my attic.
Let's go over to a landscape image. And actually flowers. It's landscape. Now is this part of still life?
This is a still life. I enjoy doing still lifes. Just getting the effect of the clay pots and so forth, and the color. And the dark background kind of plays off the yellow.
Now, do you do your own gardening as well?
I love gardening, yes. So
So
that gives me another sense of how to paint a plant. The veins and the intricacies of a floral, just gives me a little bit more push.
You know, in my life, I've always felt that there was something missing. So, even though I travel cross-country Europe, cross-country Canada, cross-country U.S., in my own home area, I always felt there was something missing. So you know where I